This government was founded on the concept of separation between church and state. And a lot of people will say, well, that's for so that the churches won't be taxed or whatever. No, it's much more than that. Church and politics, church and government should be two separate things. Church is set up to worship your God, whatever God you may worship. It should be a separate entity from government. In my opinion, when they shut down the churches during the pandemic, they broke the law because we have the law of separation between church and state. Churches should not have come under any type of government mandate ever. The people on the left, in my opinion, are not Christians. They're not religious at all. They've proven it time and time again. You cannot possibly be a Catholic, as some of them claim to be, and still support abortion. That is against the religion of the Catholic Church. Those aren't Christians. Kamala has been preaching from the pulpit lately. After she threw out a couple of religious people from her rally, told them that they were at the wrong place. She got such backlash, she started preaching in churches now. That is sacrilegious. No politician should ever preach from the pulpit of any church. Those churches were created to worship God, not to worship politicians. That is sacrilegious. God threw out the money changers himself, right? Now you say, well, then they weren't preaching something. They were there for purposes other than religious. The church is supposed to be sacred. No matter what church you go to, that should be sacred and should be dedicated to the worship of God and no common man or woman. Now, politicians have the right to go to church. They absolutely do have the right to go to church, and they should go to church, but they should not preach from church. There should be no political talk whatsoever in a church. I have to say, before this election, a few years back, I went to church, and the minister got up there and started talking a little bit about politics, just a little bit. I never went back to that church again. That is not the place to talk politics. You should be dedicated to God. You should be dedicated to teaching your children the difference between right and wrong, and love and hate, and the love of God, and nothing else. This only shows to me how really far we have fallen as a civilization, because without religion there is no civilization, and I'm seeing it erased every single day. We need to have our faith, especially during these times, and we need to maintain the dignity and the deity of our churches.